I ran London, as you will remember, Nick. I ran London from the big centre of politics, and we did some fantastic things for our city, and I want to do those things for our country.
Thank you for your time, Boris Johnson, appearing here.
Why are you running away from scrutiny?
I'm not running.
You are fleeing.
Okay. If you're successful, you once said of Gordon Brown that it was a gigantic fraud that he inherited Number 10. You, of course, would call an election, wouldn't you?
I think
now who's doing the running?
Right, I'm not running away.
Okay. So would you perpetuate a gigantic fraud?
I think that the people of this country feel that they've been asked out to the polls quite a few times recently, in 2015, in 2016, and indeed in 2017. What they want, and the instruction they gave us, was to deliver.
No. You will perpetuate a gigantic fraud.
No,
so you will have a general election.
I would perpetuate a gigantic fraud unless we deliver Brexit. And there is one candidate standing in this contest who represents a fresh way of actually getting us out of the mire.
So you won't call the judge. So you'll apologise to Gordon Brown.
And who will deliver Brexit on October the 31st.
You'll apologise to Gordon Brown.
It's not the top of my priorities to apologise to Gordon Brown.
But now are you ready to wrap it up? Do you have to be so, or would you want to go on?
No, because I want to complete this point, which is my priority is to deliver a sensible exit from the European Union on October the 31st. And I'm afraid the other candidate who is standing will simply kick the can.
Were your neighbours curtain-twitching Corbynistas?
Look, that is a question you might reasonably direct elsewhere.
Why? They're your neighbours. Still want to stay?
I don't want to get into casual.
Very generously afforded more time, so I can hang around. So were they curtain-twitching Corbynistas?
I don't want to get into.
Would you ever
casual name calling? And
would you ever record a fracas in a neighbour's house?
There already has been casual name calling in this.
No, would you ever record a fracas at a neighbour's house?
I cannot imagine the circumstances in which I would do so. Frankly,
what do you think of those who do?
As I said, I think there's been a lot of name.
Do you need to leave yet?
It's all right.
Great. Have you ever
I think people want to hear what people want to hear.
No. Have you ever taken? I'm so glad you know, and I'm very grateful to James O'Brien, whose time I've inherited. In fact, I'd have given him a slice of the dosh. Have you ever taken Class A drugs?
I've given the answer to that question. Have you?
No, I've never taken Class A drugs. No. Honestly, no.
Not even tried?
No, never even tried, unlike you.
Okay, well, that's absolutely correct, because I has been extensively and I think documented ad nauseam. I have confessed on primetime BBC at the age of 19 to attempting to...
But what do you mean by attempting?
Just that.
So you didn't actually, to use it, you didn't inhale it?
I think that particular event or non-event of more than 30 years ago has been extensively documented.
Okay, still got time?
Yes. What I think the people in this country...
The water cannon or the garden bridge? Which was the greater mistake? The water cannon or the garden bridge?
I think, actually, when you look back at the what we did in London, it was a fantastic achievement of investment, not just in river crossings, but in
not that cable car. You're not talking about the disastrous cable car.
There were plenty of other river crossings that we've helped to support. And I'll tell you something.
We must go.
I'm deeply proud of massive investment in transport infrastructure that helped to lift the GDP of this city, but above all, of the poorest and neediest in society.
Next on LBC.
Well, we can cut into James O'Brien's time.
Well, he's already given me 5 minutes.
And it was by investment in transport infrastructure and in education and by fighting crime that we brought the city together. And what I would love
Boris
to do...
Johnson. What do we know that took place regarding another politician, Boris Johnson?
So I have nothing to say on this subject beyond what's already in the public domain, which is that, as you know, in Camberwell on an evening last week, we were called. It was
but more broadly
talking about the welfare of the people inside, and we spoke to both people, and there was no cause for us to take any further action.
The Met's social media post tells the public you are not interfering for getting involved in domestic incidents. Do you agree with that, therefore, with what they did in Camberwell?
I think it is important that people call the police when they're worried about somebody, of course, and that's as far as it goes. I'm a police officer, so I want people to tell us if they're worried about somebody.
Should they make recordings?
I don't have a view. I don't have a view on that, really. I mean, it can be helpful for us if there is evidence of a crime, of course.
Yeah.
That we're then going to be investigating. If somebody has made some sort of recording, that can be very helpful.
Yes, but should that recordings then find its way to the media?
Well, that genuinely is not something for me to comment on. All I would say is that in an incident where we have been called because somebody is worried about somebody else, and when we get there, both parties are fine and there are no offences revealed, we would not put that into the public domain.
Okay.
Because we have a very clear policy about this, and we wouldn't unless a journalist comes in and asks us very specific details.
It was suggested that Scotland Yard wasn't particularly forthcoming quickly with details of what happened in Camberwell. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of the suggestion. I have looked briefly at this. I don't think we treated this incident in any way differently from whoever it might have been. The most important person in the land, or the most humble, for want of a better person in the land, or Nick Ferrari or Cressida Dick. We dealt with it in exactly the way we would, and so we did.
So the details were the same speed as to whether it was Boris Johnson or Bertie Bugger Lugs in Morden High Street.
I believe that.
All right.